I built an entire gaming setup for only $800. It plays modern games, it consumes only like 150 watts, and it fits in a backpack. Pretty cool, right? After a whole decade of making computer videos, this has become one of my favorite projects, but it didn't come without its fair share of issues.
No, we restarted. Dang it.
And thank you Bamboo Labs for sponsoring a portion of this video. So this all started a few months ago when I was binging a ton of 3D printed computer case videos. I was surprised at how small and affordable a case can be if you just built it yourself. And that's when the idea hit me. Portable monitors are so affordable and efficient. Why can't you just make an entire gaming setup that you can take to LAN parties or when you travel? And so I started on the journey. I ordered all the parts I needed to print and assemble the case on Amazon. I used this 2.9 liter case designed by YouTuber Maker Unit. And if you need a point of reference to know just how tiny 2.9 liters is, that's smaller than the Xbox Series S or smaller than a gallon of milk. But the more daunting task was actually choosing the computer components, even as a seasoned builder myself, because I wanted something that was affordable, yet was 1080p gaming capable and could fit in a glorified milk carton. Let's see if this works out. So here's what I chose for this computer project. The processor and video card is the Ryzen 5 8600G. It's on AMD's newest platform, it's 6 cores, 12 threads, and it has the Radeon 760M integrated video card that rivals the RX 580 in some titles. Now to cool the CPU-GPU combo, we have the Noctua NH-L9A AM5. It's $45, which is way more affordable than I expected, and it's low profile, so it will fit the form factor of this case. I chose the A620i AX motherboard from Gigabyte. Now, B650 would actually be helpful here because that allows us to undervolt the CPU and the GPU, but I decided to save some money and go with A620 instead. For RAM, I chose 32 gigabytes of DDR5 7600 CAS latency 36 memory. And this was only $79, which is an insane steal for not only that quantity, and that speed of memory. APUs need a lot of RAM and they need fast RAM, and this checks both of those boxes. I went for the cheapest 1TB NVMe SSD I could find, and it was the SanDisk Plus SSD. And then our power supply is, this tiny thing right here. It's the Argeek something 250 watt power supply for $30. And I also had to buy a $48 12-volt power brick. And because we only have a handful of components and they basically all fit on the motherboard itself, this was the fastest computer I think I've ever built. Yes. Okay, great. So everything's working as expected, but there's one more test. We need to make sure that the system can actually power the portable monitor itself. Now, this isn't technically necessary, but it just means I don't have to carry around one extra cable and think about one extra outlet to plug into.
Let's go.
So we're looking good, surprisingly. Let's talk about the most important part of this project, the case. The sad reality is that most name brand small form factor cases are expensive. And although AliExpress has some really cheap ones that could fit the bill, I still wanted to make my own. And the Bamboo Labs A1 combo printer helped me do that. I'm really glad that this was my very first 3D printer because it made everything extremely easy. Within an hour of unboxing, I set up the printer and the AMS, which is the contraption that holds the spools of filament, and I had my first test print done and ready to go. It was a cute little pig-shaped ocarina that even my roommates found endearing. It's a little pig. Isn't that so cute? After getting acclimated, I went straight ahead and printed the computer case. And it was really easy. I downloaded the step files from Maker Unit's Principal's website, I added them to Bamboo Lab Studio, and then I sent the print to the A1 combo over Wi-Fi. And using the AMS, I created a few multi-filament and multicolored prints, like this case for my Miyu Mini Plus handheld emulator. And there's lots of other cool contraptions and gadgets you can print on the Maker World website that you can access through the Bamboo Handy app. Send profiles and prints directly to your printer with just one click, making it super beginner friendly. Before, the idea of a 3D printer seemed so daunting, so I'm glad that I got the A1 combo to actually get me started on these things. If you're looking to get into 3D printing, or if you've been on the fence for a while like me, I totally recommend Bamboo Labs A1 combo. It's easy to set up, it's great for beginners, it really does drive that sense of creativity and creation, and I recommend the combo because it comes with the AMS, and that just simplifies having multiple different spools of filament to choose from. So if you're interested, click the link in the description to check out more or to pick one up yourself. I was pretty stoked that the case printed out cleanly, but I noticed a few issues.
A few things that we need to fix.
Unfortunately, I had to opt for slower RAM, but it was still fast enough to make this build viable.
Let's go.
Once I fixed the clearance and threading issues, building the computer was a piece of cake. Maker Unit did a great job creating a case that's easy to assemble, and he even has a whole video detailing how to do it. And if all goes well, we don't have any issues, the process takes maybe 20 minutes. So the computer's fully built. We have it right here. I haven't tested it yet, but I'm hoping that it works. And we have our portable monitor, so we actually kind of have most of our setup. But there's one issue with just using the setup as is, and it is my neck and my back. As Kia would say. I'm not finishing the rest of that song. It has the same issue that any laptop has, where the screen is below my natural viewing line. Now, I can change this by tilting the screen like I would on a laptop, but that still doesn't help my gamer hunch whenever I'm using it on a desk. What if we just took that portable monitor and gave it its own stand? Daniel Titchener gets credit for this ingenious solution. In order for him to have a multiple monitor setup on the go that's still lightweight and portable, he took a VESA mount compatible portable monitor, added a backplate, added a quick release plate, and placed it on a tripod or monopod. It's absolutely brilliant, if you ask me, and it's the basis for a setup today. So I ordered a 1080p 14-inch VESA compatible portable monitor for $60, a ball head mini tripod for $53, a cheese plate for $12, and a quick release plate for $30. The installation process only took about maybe 20 minutes. So I put the quick release plate on the back of the monitor with the cheese grater adapter thing for the VESA mount. I have the quick release base on the tripod right here. Let's just see if it attaches and holds up. Pretty important for a monitor to not fall while you're gaming, right? So like this. That's kind of cute. Isn't that kind of cute? Like this could be like a little robot buddy or something. Let's try to raise it. Let's see what happens. Ooh. Oh wow, this is so cool. It feels so silly and goofy, but and it's not the most stable right here on the plate, but it holds it up. I'm excited. This is so cool. Let's download some games. Let's see how the computer performs and if we can actually take it with us to like a coffee shop or something. Hope I don't get any weird looks. Yes. We did it, boys. We did it. I did enable XMP for the RAM because the APUs need really fast RAM, and it's DDR5 6000 with a cache latency of 32. I ended up overclocking the RAM a little bit more, and it's at 6400 mega transfers per second instead of 6000. I started with Apex Legends at 1080p using low settings, some light texture filtering, and a 60 FPS minimum performance target. And minus my really awful playing, I'm not good at this game at all. The computer did pretty well until it froze and subsequently shut down.
Ah, dang it.
Okay, we may have crashed like the entire computer shut off and restart. The good thing is that none of the parts are melting or anything like that, and that's good. Don't want don't want the computer to melt, but it does have some problems, or a problem, which might just be the power supply is very. I initially thought I had a bad power supply, but then I remembered something. I did technically overclock my RAM, and that could be the issue. So I removed the overclock I added, went to the default extreme memory profile. It worked great. There we go. Gaming on the machine wasn't show-stopping, but it played all titles at 1080p with respectable performance. Games that you wouldn't expect either, like Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah, this is crazy smooth. Way smoother than I expected. Like, I'm not getting any hitches or anything like that. It ran way smoother than some dedicated GPUs I've tested. And that was without any FSR. And although it wasn't a killer in Rainbow Six Siege, for example, the system still pushed enough frames for it to be enjoyable. Haha! Shoot. I can't believe I got a headshot. That was pretty cool. And the same thing applied across all the other games that I played. It wasn't a showstopper and it wasn't a killer. It was definitely playable, it was a fun experience, and it was smooth. This is it's doing a pretty good job. And the peak temperature that it hit after about 40 minutes of gameplay was 89.6 degrees Celsius in Rainbow Six Siege. So not ideal, but that also means that it wasn't thermal throttling. And that's a win in my book. I would say that this so far is seeming like it's working pretty well. But we still have one more test that we have to do. The backpack test. Yeah, keyboard, mouse, everything. Let's find out. I brought out my dusty JanSport backpack as an anecdotal metric to see if this project actually succeeded. So it ended up working. It fit. The only thing left is to actually take it to a coffee shop and see if it works, which will make my social anxiety kind of go off. Let's see. We're in Starbucks. I'm so nervous. Setting up the computer and the peripherals only took a few minutes, and thankfully it was after peak rush hour. The computer booted up on the first try, which means that it survived the transport, and I didn't have any hiccups at all. I even got a little bit of work done. I kind of forgot that I was using my full desktop. As a matter of fact, Starbucks' Wi-Fi was even good enough for me to play an MMORPG. That's pretty impressive. Alright, we're done. Let's go home. So this little project, this little experiment, was a pass. And we did it under $1,000. There are ways I think I can improve the design, or at the very least make it more fun and exciting for myself and the niche amount of people who would use it. So maybe I'll have an update video in the coming months. In any case, thank you so much Bamboo Labs for sponsoring this video, and check out the A1 combo printer. Thank you guys so much for watching and for being patient with uploads, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.